Have you ever carried something so heavy for so long that you forgot what it felt like to be light? Maybe it's anger at someone who hurt you. Maybe it's resentment toward a parent who wasn't there. Maybe it's a grudge you've held for years, decades even, and you've told yourself that holding on to it is justified, that they deserve your anger, that forgiving them would mean letting them off the hook. But here's the truth that nobody tells you. The person you're most hurting with that grudge isn't the person you're angry at. It's you. Every day, that anger poisons your relationships, your work, your sleep, your peace. And the person who wronged you probably doesn't even think about it anymore. They've moved on. You're the one still carrying the weight. If this sounds familiar, if you're tired of being weighed down by something that happened years ago, this story will change how you think about forgiveness forever. Because once, there was a man who held a grudge against his father for 20 years, and he freed himself in 30 days without ever sending a single letter. Stay with me until the end. In a quiet town where people kept their pain to themselves, there lived a 55-year-old man named James. James had built a successful career as an architect. He had a comfortable home, a loving wife, and 2 grown children who adored him. On the surface, he had everything. But inside, James was carrying a weight that was slowly destroying him. For 20 years, James had been angry at his father. His father had left the family when James was just 15 years old. No goodbye, no explanation, no apology. Just a note on the kitchen table that said, "I can't do this anymore." James's mother had cried for months. She had worked 2 jobs to keep the family together. And James had grown up watching her struggle, believing that his father had abandoned them because they weren't good enough. He had carried that belief into adulthood. It had poisoned his relationships. He had pushed people away before they could leave him. He had trouble trusting anyone. He had spent 20 years proving to himself and everyone else that he didn't need anyone, especially not his father. But the anger was eating him alive. One evening, James's wife, Sarah, found him sitting alone in the dark, staring at nothing. "James," she said gently, "you've been distant for weeks. What's going on?" James shook his head. "It's nothing." Sarah sat beside him. "It's not nothing. You don't sleep. You don't smile. You're here, but you're not here. And I know it's about your father." James's jaw tightened. "I don't want to talk about him." Sarah took his hand. "I know, but you need to. This anger is killing you, James. Not him. You. You're the one carrying it, and you're the only one who can put it down." James was silent for a long moment. Then finally, he spoke. "I don't know how. I've been angry for 20 years. It's part of me now." Sarah said something that surprised him. "What if you wrote him a letter? Not to send, just to write, to get it all out." James scoffed. "What good would that do?" Sarah squeezed his hand. "I don't know, but you've tried everything else. What do you have to lose?" The next morning, James sat at his desk with a blank piece of paper. He stared at it for what felt like an hour. Finally, he wrote, "Dear Dad," and then he stopped. He didn't know what to say. There was too much. So he started with the first thing that came to mind. "I was 15 when you left. You left a note on the table. That's all I got. 15 years of being your son, and you left a note." He wrote for an hour, pouring out 20 years of anger, hurt, and betrayal. And when he was done, he felt something unexpected. Not relief exactly, but something. He folded the letter and put it in a drawer. The next day, he wrote again. "I still remember the day you left. I came home from school and Mom was crying at the kitchen table. I knew before she said anything. I knew you were gone." He wrote and wrote, page after page. Each day he added another letter. Some were angry, some were sad, some were just memories of his father before he left. Good memories. Fishing trips, Sunday afternoons, the way his father had laughed. Those were the hardest letters to write. Day 10. James sat at his desk and wrote, "Dad, I realized something today. I've been telling myself a story about you leaving because we weren't good enough. But that story isn't true. You left because of your own brokenness. It had nothing to do with me. Day 15. I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of pushing people away because I'm afraid they'll leave. I'm tired of being a victim of something that happened 20 years ago. Day 20. I forgive you, Dad. Not because you deserve it, because I deserve to be free. He wrote the word forgive and stared at it. It felt strange. It felt impossible, but it also felt right. Day 25. I'm going to finish this letter soon. I don't need to send it. I just needed to say it. I needed to let it go. Day 30. James sat at his desk with the final letter. He read through all 30 letters, watching his own transformation unfold on the pages. Anger turned to sadness. Sadness turned to understanding. Understanding turned to forgiveness. And forgiveness turned to peace. He picked up his pen and wrote the final words. Dad, I don't know if you're alive or dead. I don't know if you ever thought about me. I don't know if you ever regretted leaving. But I know that I'm done carrying this weight. I'm setting it down today. Not for you, for me. I forgive you. And I forgive myself for holding on for so long. He folded the letter and placed it with the others. He didn't burn them. He didn't send them. He just put them in a box and closed the lid. And for the first time in 20 years, he felt something he had forgotten was possible. Peace. James walked out of his study and found Sarah in the kitchen. She looked at him and her eyes widened. James, you look different. What happened? He smiled, and it was a real smile, not the forced one he'd been wearing for years. I let it go, he said. I finally let it go. Sarah hugged him. I knew you could. James nodded. It took 30 days of letters, 30 days of facing the anger, the sadness, the memories. But I'm free. I'm finally free. And that night, for the first time in as long as he could remember, James slept peacefully. My friend, James's story is your story. If you've ever carried a weight that wasn't yours to carry, if you've held on to anger at someone who wronged you, if you've told yourself that forgiving them would mean letting them off the hook, here's the truth. Forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about you. It's about setting down the weight you were never meant to carry. It's about freeing yourself from a prison that only you can walk out of. And the most powerful thing about forgiveness is this. The person you're forgiving doesn't even need to know. You don't need them to apologize. You don't need them to change. You don't even need to tell them. You can forgive them in a letter that no one else will ever read. And when you do, you'll be the one who walks away free. So here's your challenge. Write a letter to someone who hurt you. Not to send, just to write. Pour out everything. The anger, the sadness, the hurt. Write it all down. And then write a letter of forgiveness. Not because they deserve it, because you do. Write one letter a day for 30 days and watch what happens when you finally set down the weight you've been carrying for years. If this story touched you, give this video a like. Drop a comment. What's one letter you need to write? Share this with someone who needs to hear that they can be free. And subscribe for more stories that heal. Until next time, remember, forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you. And you deserve to be free.